Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allah.
نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الكلام كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. وبعد، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله، الله أكبر، الله أكبر، ولله الحمد. أيها الإخوة الكرام, on this blessed day of Eid, Eid al-Fitr, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the many blessings that He has showered upon us. These blessings, أيها الإخوة الكرام, from those blessings are those blessings that cannot be enumerated. But indeed from the greatest of these blessings is the completion and the tawfiq to carry out and perform these righteous acts of khair. Acts, أيها الإخوة الكرام, that draw us closer to Allah. The fast in Ramadan, the establishment of qiyam, prayer by night, establishing the 5 daily salawat, and other than that, from the great guidance of the deen, the guidance that Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed us with, that guidance, أيها الإخوة, that Allah Azza wa Jal bestows upon His servant. وَمَن, as Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned, فَمَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَن يَهْدِيَ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ وَمَن يُرِدْ أن يضل يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء. Whomsoever Allah Azza wa Jal wants to guide, He expands his chest to Islam, and whomsoever He wishes to misguide, He makes his chest narrow and restricted as though he is ascending into the sky. That no doubt is from the blessing of Allah upon His servant, that he expands his breast to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, this deen of haqq and this deen of truth, that we may be from those who on this day yukabbirullahu ala ma hadakum, on this day who glorify Allah and make the takbir of Allah Azza wa Jal for that which He has guided us to. For indeed this guidance is on the basis of the fact, أيها الإخوة الكرام, we have been guided to this tawfiq on the basis of the fact that Allah Azza wa Jal is the guide, Allah is the hadi, and He has selected you, Ya Abdullah, to be guided to this truth, guided to this path, guided to this way, this path of understanding and knowing that Allah is the haqq. As Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْحَقِّ, that is because Allah is the haqq. وَأَنَّ مَا يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ هُوَ الْبَاطِلِ, and that which is called upon besides Allah is falsehood. That which is called upon besides the one creator of the heavens and the earth is batil. Allah Azza wa Jal, He is Al-Haqq. From His names is Al-Haqq, and Allah Azza wa Jal mentions that throughout the Qur'an. Throughout the Qur'an, Allah Azza wa Jal mentions, ثُمَّ رُدُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مَوْلَاهُمُ الْحَقِّ. Then they will be returned to Allah, their true Mawla. Allah Azza wa Jal is the Haqq because of the fact that there is nothing truer than Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal is the Haqq because of the fact that Allah Azza wa Jal, all truth comes from Allah. The statements of Allah are true. The ahkam and the rulings of Allah is the truth. Everything that Allah has informed us of is nothing but the haqq. That which is worshipped besides Allah is the batil. Thus Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْحَقِّ. Yani, He is the one that is worshipped in truth. For indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one that created the heavens and the earth. Everything that exists in truth exists on the basis of the fact that Al-Haqq has created it. Al-Haqq brought it into existence. Al-Haqq gave it its blessings and its guidance, gave it its inspiration. Al-Haqq made it a reality. And thus there is nothing truer than Allah. Alladhi huwa al-Haqq. He is the truth. And so Allah Azza wa Jal, He is the truth, ayyuha al-ikhwatul kiram. And it is that we worship. It is He who we worship. And it is that reality that we mention every single day of our lives. Everything about the believer is and expresses this reality, that Allah is the Haqq, that the deen of Allah is the Haqq, that everything that Allah Azza wa Jal has revealed is the Haqq. Nothing is truer than this, ayyuha al-ikhwatul kiram. And so today when we make the takbir of Allah and we say Allahu Akbar, the statement that we make, as Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah has mentioned, is that Allah Azza wa Jal Akbar min kulli kabir, that Allah is greater than anything great. Allah Azza wa Jal is the Haqq. Ayyuha al-ikhwatul kiram, listen to this beautiful statement of that great Imam from the A'imma of Al-Sunnah, Al-Imam Abdul Rahman bin Nasir al-Sa'di rahimahullah ta'ala. Al-Sheikh al-Sa'di rahimahullah, he mentioned Al-Haqq. He is Al-Haqq. He is the truth. And then he explained what that means. He mentioned Al-Haqq fi dhatihi wa sifati. He is the truth in His essence and in His characteristics. فَهُوَ وَاجِبُ الْوُجُودِ. He is the one true elementary existence. He mentioned كَامِلُ الصِّفَاتِ. He said He is complete in His sifat, وَالنُّعُودِ, complete in His characteristics and all of His attributes. He mentioned وُجُودُهُ مِنْ لَوَازِمِ ذَاتِهِ. Him existing eternally is from the necessity of His essence. He mentioned لا وجود لشيء من الأشياء إلا به. There is no existence for anything that exists except by way of Allah. Nothing exists except through Him. Everything we see, everything we breathe exists because of Allah. What is more true than the one who, by way of Him, everything exists? He mentions, فَهُوَ الَّذِي لَمْ يَزَلْ وَلَا يَزَالُ الْجَلَالُ وَلَا يَزَالُ الْجَلَالُ وَالْكَمَالُ وَالْجَمَالُ أو بالجلال والكمال والجمال موصوفا. He is the one. ولم يزل ولا يزال. He mentions بالإحسان معروفا, and He will not cease and never cease, has never ceased and will never cease to be described with the beautiful characteristics of benevolence. All of these from Allah Azza wa Jal. He mentions وَقَوْلُهُ حَقٌّ. His statement is the haqq. His statements are the truth. وَفِعْلُهُ حَقٌّ. His actions are the truth. وَلِقَاؤُهُ حَقٌّ. Meeting with Him is the truth. وَرُسُلُهُ حَقٌّ. His messengers are the truth. وَكُتُبُهُ حَقٌّ. His books are the truth. وَدِينُهُ هُوَ الْحَقٌّ. and his religion is the truth. Allah Azza wa Jal is the Haqq. And so bear that in mind, ikhwan, as we celebrate the completion of this beautiful act of worship, that this is for Allah. Allah is the Haqq. And when we make that consideration, then let us consider the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal. ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأن ما يدعون من دونه هو الباطل. That is because Allah is the truth, and that which is called upon besides Allah is batil. And let us consider the statement of Allah. ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأنه يحيي الموتى وأنه على كل شيء قدير وأن الساعة آتية لا ريب فيها وأن الله يبعث من في القبور. That is because Allah is the Haqq, and that He gives life to the dead. And that is whether it is those dead hearts that are on earth or those deceased beneath the ground. وَأَنَّهُ يُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى, and that He will give life to those who are deceased يوم القيامة. وَأَنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ, and that He has ability over everything. وَأَنَّ السَّاعَةَ آتِيَةٌ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا, and that the hour is coming and there is no doubt concerning that. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَبْعَثُ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ, and that Allah Azza wa Jal will resurrect everyone that is in the graves. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal, with our testimony of faith and our declaring witness that He is the Haqq, we ask Allah to make that resurrection easy for us, and that Allah Azza wa Jal gathers us among the believers with the Siddiqeen wal-Nabiyyin wal-Shuhada'i wal-Salihin wa hasuna ulaika rafiqa. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad, wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.